Hello and welcome to this month's Maggie Moment. This month I want to chat to you a little bit about some concerns some parents have expressed to me around when their children come home from a play date possibly, or maybe even a sleepover. That sometimes when they come home they're kind of like not very nice. Sometimes children can be really rude and use sort of language that they don't normally use in their house, or they can come home, particularly boys, really unsettled and out of sorts. It's the best way to describe it. And I want to touch on some of the possible reasons for that. You've got to remember that, when children go for sleepovers, they go with a great, kind of childlike desire. It's going to be just one ball of fun. And of course, sometimes other houses have different rules and regulations and time frames, and sometimes they find that where it's yes at your house, it's no at that house, so they can get frustrated with that. Sometimes older siblings can be completely little pups to younger children in a house, and mum and dad might not even see that that's going on. And I know one little lad, whenever he came back from one house, was just awful and threw things around, and it took a long time to work out that the older sibling was punching him on the arm every time he went. You can also have children who come home who've had no sleep after a sleepover because, look, I'm sorry, I just think children do need to still get to sleep on a sleepover. Adolescents, different ball game, but I think children need sleep because children without any sleep can get really grumpy. And sometimes if you've got a child who is the sort that needs their 8 or 9 hours, oh my goodness, who comes home is just so exhausted that if they have even 24 hours before they go to school, they can still be really crabby and tired. So I think when we actually have conversations about sleepovers and dates, we need to express some of our boundaries that we'd like to have respected. And if they're not going to be respected, then the child might go for a play date but not a sleepover. What are your boundaries around technology? Because I know that some families have very laissez-faire boundaries and others are very specific about too much and not enough, and also what is appropriate. We did have one mum email us with a concern around her 7-year-old who came back from a sleepover and quite openly, without kind of realising, told mummy how he'd been playing Grand Theft Auto for 18 pluses. And of course, mum was absolutely horrified because that is really quite a violent and sexualised game, and that is definitely not something she'd allow in her house. So once again, you need to be able to have a chat to that parent and say, look, this isn't okay in our world. If he comes for another visit, can you please ensure that boundary? Or otherwise I can't let him come to your house, but I'm absolutely still excited for your son to come to our house. So once again, every parent will have different rules and expectations for their children, and sometimes our children come home because some of that has been inappropriate, or it's just frightened them. And I know very much so that some children get very, very frightened on sleepovers and aren't brave enough to ring home. I want you to tell your children, if they get to a place they feel uncomfortable or frightened or maybe overtired, that you see it as a sign of strength that they call and ask to be picked up. I think it's a really important conversation to have with your children, and just know they do get better as they get older, but we still need to be able to have respectful boundaries around what children do in other people's houses. So I hope that gives you a few ideas on the sorts of reasons that children come home out of sorts sometimes from a sleepover or from a play date, and what you can do about it. Remember, children sometimes don't want to tell you because they desperately want to go again. So ease up on the interrogation and allow it to come out in a gentle way. So I hope that's been helpful for you or given you some insights, or somebody you know. Feel free to write in the comments or share it with someone else. And that's all for me for this month.